I got you. So let's go ahead and click on the next page. And if you're following along with me, that's fine. I've got the page up here and it says on this page, we're going to build a simple game. Are we going through the Click Alonso, Tony? I don't have the slides up. I think we are. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. So I'm going to move this a little quicker so we can get more into the robotics stuff. We're going to not necessarily work with your partner, but if you were working with your partner, one of the students could have the screen up and the other student, and they could be telling the other student what to do. And so that's what we're going to do here. We have the click the starter code. I'm going to grab this link, copy the link address, and I'm going to drop it in the chat in case you are following along with me. So this is your starter code. And I'm clicking it open. All right. So we have Alonso, and that's why you have starter code, because it automatically gives you Alonso. And now I'm not signed in on the starter code. You're probably not signed in on the starter code that you have. So click login and go ahead and sign in. All right. Once you've signed in for that, you're going to save it to your Snap account. To save it to your Snap account, you are going to click on the File tab, and you're going to click Save As. And we might as well keep it as Click Alonso, but I have so many Click Alonsos, so I'm going to put, let's see, 7/9/2022. All right, so I've got that, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to tell you how to share it right now because we're here and this is a good place to do that. So now I have my code and I've saved it and it's Click Alonso, right? And you'll notice that you probably can't see this very well, but it doesn't have any indication that it has my username or anything in there or the name that I've saved it as. So if I do we're going to do a save as again. And we're going to make this a share. So I'm going to click share. And now I'm going to go down and I have to find what it is. So I'm going to have to scroll down. I have a lot. I need to clean up my stuff. Don't judge me. Okay, so we have the Click Alonso 7/9, right? Here it is. It's not all my ones that I have shared are bold, right? So this one's not bold and it just has the share here. So I'm going to click share and it says, are you sure? Of course, I want to share it with the world, right? Now you'll notice in your URL, your username and the name of the project will come up. That's how you know that you have a shareable link. No one can change your code in your well, they can change it, but they have to save it for as their own to do any changes. So this is always going to be set up as your code. And this is something that if you're going to be doing any Parsons problems with your students, they're not going to break your code unless you go in and change your code and you break your own code. Okay. So there's also a place to publish it. Don't worry about that. That's on the gallery. And you don't have to worry about that unless you're going to be publishing for your classroom. Okay, and you just click save. Yes, I do. It's all saved. We're good. And now I have Marnie Hill and the project name in my link at the top. Okay, and that's just for you to save it back and forth. All right, so now that we have it saved, and saving is so important, because if you don't save it, you'll lose your code. All right, even though we have undo buttons and everything here, you'll lose your code. All right, so now we're going to go to the scripting area and we're going to write some code. What are we going to do? We're going to get when I am clicked. So we're looking at this. The blocks are color coded, and I do know that some students are not, they're colorblind and maybe can't see what color this is, but this is a control. All right, this is a control, and we're going to get when I am clicked. So you pull that out, And then you're going to go to random position. Now, when I'm teaching my students for the first time, I'll walk them through maybe one or two things like this, like I'm walking through with you. And when we get into some complicated code, I may walk them through some things, but generally it's more about facilitating the time or this, letting them kind of do that learning piece. But I do walk through this one with students. Okay, so we've got go to random position. All right, cool. All righty. And then it says test your program. So you guys can click on Alonso and see what happens. Anything happen? Yeah?
It goes to a random position when you click on.
Yep. And you keep clicking them. All right, cool. So when I click once, we're just going to a random position. Great. So remember those orange squares I talked about that your kids are going to skip? Here you go. This is what they're gonna miss. Also, there's these hint blocks and they're not going to read them when they ask you a question. My stuff's not working. Did you read the hints? No. Okay, that's fine. I actually don't do them. I'll be like, I don't know, where are you at? Can you read it to me? And then they read it to me and then they figure it out. So now we're down in the 5 section because I'm skipping all these other things like I said not to do. And it says when I'm clicked and when the space key is clicked. So I'm going to find when I'm clicked and when the space key is clicked in the yellow palette and see what choices are in the drop down menu. So, all right. So when I am clicked and when the space key is clicked, we're going to go and look at these. And when I'm clicked, these different things happen. And then the drop down arrow here is when I'm clicked. So when the space key is clicked or when the arrows are clicked, and this is where it starts saying, okay, now we can create a game. Okay. All right. We can click just the save button to do a save now that we have some code in here. So you just click save now and it saves for you. And now we're going to make this this a little bit more challenging and we're going to do the forever block. This game, I've seen it created in 52 seconds. But that was Dan Garcia and he's part of the development of this. Okay, so do your forever. Okay. And notice that we're like flying everywhere. That's just going too fast. So we have a wait block. Where should we put this wait block? Should we put it outside the forever loop? So if we do that, what happens? That doesn't work.
Inside.
Inside the loop.
Above the. Yep.
And it doesn't, at this point, doesn't matter where we put it.
Oh.
Okay. There will be times that it matters where it goes. Okay. So I like to put them at the end, actually. Ooh. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do a little save, right? And then we go to our next one. Oh, we've already shared our app, so we've already done this one, right? And this is, my goodness, that's super tiny. Well, how do you read that? You can't even read that. So don't worry about clicking on that unless you have a screen that you can make bigger. All right, and saving, so we've saved it. And now we can close it and we can send it to the partner if they don't have a copy. Okay. Then you have the if there is time. So you can put it on your phone. It tells you how to put it on your phone and how to load it to an iOS and Android. Kids like to play games and they like to play the games they create. Okay, so I like to do the when I'm clicked and everything. And ooh,
I have a quick question though.
Yes.
So I was just looking at your code and then I tried it. They don't, you know, when you're in Scratch, it has to be touching, like the forever has to touch the one I am. It wasn't touching, it was still running. It's because I
Right.
scripted it all over, or does it just work?
It's actually because, so I can click on this. If I
Yeah.
have it separated and I click on this, it doesn't work. If I do this, if I click on the block of code,
Right.
it'll work. Okay.
Okay.
But I want to move in when I click on them. Okay.
Okay.
Now we're going to switch the costumes back and forth. Okay. So we have costumes and we have the 2 costumes already in here. Your costumes, let me go ahead and make this. You're going to go to you have 3 tabs at the top. You have the scripts, costumes, and sounds. Sounds are scary. They have to use their headphones when they have sounds on. Otherwise, the classroom just gets crazy. Some teachers like it though. They love the cat meow. I hate that one. Anyway, so we have the click Alonso. You have Alonso and then you have Alonso flipped. And you can go in and you can edit these costumes. If you click on right click is your friend. If you right click, you can rename, you can duplicate, you can delete, or you can export it. You can also edit it. And this is where they did the editing, where you can flip it, or you can flip vertical, or you can flip the horizontal or flip vertical. Okay, so that's where you can go for those kinds of things. But they've already created it. And since this is the first things that you're going to be doing with your students, you don't worry about that since they're clicked. So you'll notice we have 2 costumes. And they don't even talk about, I think, going into the costumes. They just talk about doing the next costumes. I'm going to pull this out of the forever and I'm going to stop it. All right, so our costume is purple and the purple is looks. So we're going to click on the looks tab and we're going to click next costume. Great. Now, where are we going to put this? If we put next costume at the top, when is the costume going to change? It changes before the loop starts. And it's not a problem where you put it. You can put it anywhere in this code. It doesn't matter for this particular code, but it's something that your students can kind of check out. Where does it change? And they can check out if they want to slow it down and slow the stepping down a little bit to watch how it works. You can do that with the stepping. And these are just steps through the code and shows you what it's doing. I can make it go really, really, really slow. Right now we're at 1 second. Okay, that's ridiculous. We don't want to do that. But this will step through the code and so the students can see where they are in the code and in the process and what happens when each step happens. Okay, so we've got our code flipping back and forth and it's flipping. Okay, so basically what we're doing is kind of a whack-a-mole kind of thing. And it wants us to do that and test the program, and we can do that. Let's see, when I am clicked, when the space bar is clicked, when the green flag is clicked. I'm going to keep it on the space bar we'll start when we get on the space bar. Okay, you can stop it with the red button at the top. You have the red button, which is your stop. The little stop. It's actually not a circle. It's a little stop sign, and you have your pause, and you have your green flag for go. We have some changes, the ghost effect and everything like that. So this makes it go in and out. So for clicking. And then we have some things on ending the game. Did I miss something? Let me see. I might have missed something. I don't think I did though. Go to random position forever. Okay, no, I didn't. All right, so we'll start finishing. Well, we'll finish up this. Tony, how much time do I have?
Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. I think you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, so we're going to do some ghost effects, and we're going to change the ghost effects, and we want to put that into our forever block. All right, but we're gonna do this particular section to kind of end the game. So we're gonna start the game, and then we're gonna end the game. I'm surprised, did they drop out some things on this? Aha. Yeah, they did. Make us figure out some things. All right, so let's go ahead and say when I am clicked. No, so when I am clicked, we want the green, we want this to start when the face bar is clicked, and we want this to go, right? And then when Alonso is clicked, we want to build some things. When Alonso is actually clicked, so when I am clicked, I want something to happen, right? So first of all, we have the random position, but now let's talk about keeping score and then your ghost effect stuff. So we're going to go ahead and build this ghost effect. All right. And to do that, we're going to do our control, and we have our if block. Now, if you can't find the stuff, the great thing is I want the if, and I type in if. So there's a little magnifying glass search thing, and if you click on it, you get a gray box that comes up. And I typed in if, and these are all the things that start with if, right? So this one says, I just want an if statement. There we go. So if, so when I clicked if, and what's the next thing I need? I need this operator, right? I need an equal operator. Okay, so we have that. And now we're looking for the ghost effect. The ghost effect is in the purple, and that's in looks. Ghost effect. What other effects do we have? Ooh, fancy. You have a mosaic effect? Wow. Okay, I'm not going to play with that right now, but and then we want it to go to equal 100, and then we have clear. So if ghost effects is equal to 100, we're going to clear that out, and we're going to stop all. So we're making this code. I guess I have to come up, and we're going to change the ghost effect too. So this is going to be a part of our code, and I'm kind of going backwards about it, which is might be how your kids will end up doing some stuff too. So we're going to clear our ghost effects. So if the ghost effects equals 100, we got to clear. I'm not finding clear, so I'm going to type in clear. There we go. Clear graphic effects. There we go. And then we're going to stop the game. Okay, so we have our stop. We can stop certain scripts, or we can just stop everything. So that's when your game is lost. All right, but we want to put some other things in here, right? We want to figure out how to add to our ghost effect. So we're going to do the ghost effect, and we're going to click on things. So we're going to do some keeping score. All right. So let's go ahead and get into our score. So when I'm clicked, if, when I'm clicked, what else are we going to do? We're going to do next costume, random position, wait, click, we want to do this forever. Go to random position. I want to put this in my forever block too. We're checking some things. I need some more stuff. Okay, so now we need to change ghost effect. All right, so we are going to change our ghost effect. Let's go ahead and put our ghost effect. We want to change ghost effect right after the wait. Change ghost effect. Here we go. And it's said to change it by what? A negative something? -5. Change by -5. Okay. Change the ghost effect by -5. Ooh, that's for keeping score. Okay, this is good. All right. When I'm click, go to random position. We want to start you on green block. We want to put you in a forever as well. This needs to be forever too. Okay, cool. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to change our ghost effect, or not change our ghost effect. We are right here in the forever. The ghost effect is equal to 100, but somewhere in here we need to change the ghost effect, right? So we're going to do the ghost effect in this top one when we start the costume, and we're going to do our change ghost effect up here. Oops, no. Break your stuff apart. And we're going to put our change ghost effect up here. All right. So now we have our change effect.
Why are you adding it there as well?
Okay, so I'm going to do a positive change here, right? And there's the negative here. So the negative brings it back when I click on it. So if you're clicking on the Alonso, the ghost effect, let's go ahead and change the ghost effect and see what it does when we have it up here. Okay, I need to put it in I need to put it in a when green flag is started because it's not continuing. So when I click the green flag, It should. It's going to have to do a click when clicked, when I am clicked. I'm going to have to drop it in here somewhere. Let's drop it at the top. Okay. So if you watch it, it's changing. All right. With the ghost effect. I have the solution set that I'm not going by. I'm just going by how I feel like coding today. So, so when I click on him, I have to keep clicking on him or else he goes out. Also, he goes out pretty quickly because my ghost effect is set at 25 and my clicking is set at -5. So I'm going to try -10 instead and see if I do better with the -10, if that's less difficult. Nope, he's still ghosting pretty quickly. All right, so I'm going to put this at, I'll put this at -20. I want him to ghost a little, but I don't want him to ghost as much, just so we can see the effect. Okay, so if I keep clicking on him, uh-oh, I'm not fast enough, right? I have to keep clicking. But I've got to be clicking on him when it happens. So this isn't correct. All right, my code's not correct. And so we're going to go into the teacher guide. We're going to pull down that code because I got a little crazy with it and I got myself lost. And we're going to go and take a look at the solutions. And we're going to pull this up. Okay. That's why I have it kind of mixed up. So when I'm clicked, you do the next costume change effect. You don't have to do a say, but they have a say in here for some reason. Okay, so we get started. It says, all right, and then we can click on the Alonso here. But it's not ghosting. Why is the ghost not working? Is anybody else's ghost working?
I'm just catching up. Oh, put that one.
Yeah. This ghost is not working very well either. I'm going to go to one of my other Click Alonsos that I like better than the building of this one. Open. Of course, I'm not logged in. I am logged in. Why are you being a problem? There we go. I think it's having trouble keeping up. I think it's running slow today on my internet at least. So this is where I'm done. This one, that's not the one I wanted. Yeah, this is pretty much the code that you need to work. The random position is fine because it'll pick it up just within the box itself. And we have a score that's set. And when I'm clicked, you change the score by 1. And so it's when I'm clicked where you're going to change the ghost. Everything else goes in the when the green flag is clicked. And that's where our problems have been. Or my problems have been. Did I close it? I closed it without saving it. Oh, y'all. I closed it without saving it. Ah. Okay. No, I didn't. It's right here. Okay, cool. All right. So let's get into this and take a look. So we need to do when I am clicked, that's going to be go to random position, next costume. This one is change the ghost effect. And then if it's clear, so we should be good here. We're going to start the green flag and then we're going to click. Why is it not starting my code here? I don't understand why my code's not continuing to run.
I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
So like after the if you put go to random position and then next costume, wait 1 second and then change ghost effect by 100. I got it basically like I think you gotta click it 4 times. If you wait it out too long, it'll go back to being like 100%.
Okay, so I do this right here. And then I can do this over here.
Put the change ghost under the 1 second.
Under the 1 second.
Yeah, at the end of it.
Okay, this matters right here now.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You gotta use both of them. The change goes, the first one stays at the top, and that's 25. And then I changed the bottom. Yep. And then I put the other one you got there, change ghost effect by -20. I put that one at the bottom by 100.
Okay, but that's if you click it.
Well, that's if you're doing the click. If you do the like if you hit
If you're just testing it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're testing it.
I was using the when to click. Yeah. So basically instead of when you click the flag, like more or less like when someone actually clicks Alonso, then it kind of like starts a little mini game, I guess. But if they don't click it within like that 1 second, it goes back to being 100%.
I gotcha. Okay. Very cool. So then we get in and we start doing this score. And when you click, you can do your score. I think after this with the score is when I'm clicked will come out over here and we should have the score and it should be able to keep both things running. So when I am clicked is your Alonso and it sets everything back. And then we're going to do when I'm click change score, we need to do a variable. So we're going to set score to a variable because you're going to need a variable. So you're going to make a variable or create a variable. You can come here and click make variable. I think you can right click and make a variable. Nope, that's make a block. Okay, so now I'm going to do score. That's what I'm going to call my variable. It doesn't matter how you it doesn't matter if you use lowercase or uppercase or anything like that. It's not picky. So we have score and we're going to add sort. So first we're setting our score. We need to do that over here. When the green flag is clicked, we're going to set our score. We always have to set up our program. So we've got it and it's going to start with set to 0. And then we're going to change score by 1. Every time I click it, and we're going to subtract 10 minus 10 off of this. All right, so when the green flag is clicked, then you can click Alonso and you got to keep clicking Alonso. Ooh, but it's not going to the random position. Let's do that. I think we need to move that random position and change this too, since it's not doing this part. Oop. By the way, Control Z is your best friend. All right, let's see what we got here. It's moving a little slow. Is yours moving slow? I'm going to move mine to 0.75 for position. All right. Yeah, my internet is moving really slow. Normally it's quicker than this. Oh, I have my stepping on. Y'all, I have my stepping on. Okay, let's do the green flag now. There we go. Keeping going. Nope, I died. Yep, I die out too fast. Go to next costume change.
Is your last wait 75 seconds?
0.75.
Okay.
That's because I had the stepping on. Ooh, stopped me. Mhm. Throw you away. So we don't need to go to next costume. This can go to random position. Let's run this. Nope, don't need that then. All right, and let's run this again. Ah. Okay, there, it's working now. I had my stepping on, and that was causing it to slow down. So if you have this and it's stepping through, full speed is all the way to the right, and then you can slow it down by going to the left for your stepping. So that's why I was struggling with my code being slow. All right. Another way to end the game is that if you get to a certain point, you can do you win. My apologies on that, but this works right here. And to make it more difficult, you can do 0.75 seconds. And then something else that you can do, no, we'll leave it like that. Does that work for everyone? You want me to give you my project? Let me save it. So here's how I'm going to give you my project. I'm just going to send this to you. And you can do different code. All of them can be different. They don't have to be the same. But this is mine for today. Matt's like, Marnie, what did you do? When you open the project, it'll probably open up to Snap. Another way I can share things with you is I can export blocks, but we'll get into exporting things in the other thing that we do. All righty. Anybody have any questions about that? Did you hate playing with it? It's like Scratch. Like Scratch just a little bit. It can do some pretty powerful things, though. As you get into it, you'll see. All right. So for a review, we can talk a little bit about what teaching methods were demonstrated. So what were the things that I was doing as a teaching method? So when I mean teaching method, it's like, did I just say, okay, go do this, or did I do something with you?
You
What was the
model,
question?
model.
Yeah, modeled. Good. So what teaching methods were demonstrated? So I was doing a modeling, and the students could mirror what I was doing, that kind of thing. If you were in a classroom and you had some students that were a little bit more experienced, how would you have done this with them? How could you have done this with them?
Is it like one student's more experienced, or is like everyone's kind of more experienced than?
Let's say you have a student that's more experienced, and then you have some students that are not. What could you do with a student that would be more experienced?
I would have that student demonstrate, or like I would more or less like talk to the student, like make sure the student understands like what direction they're on, like basically the lesson's going in. And then I'll have that student kind of lead the lesson.
Wonderful. That's a great example. So what if you had a student that was really struggling? What could we do with a student that's struggling? Kind of on the same concept that you were on, Malik.
Yeah, more or less have that one student kind of try to lead and have everybody else more or less assist, but but kind of give everybody the same rule of you can't like point that one student in the direction. You can ask questions to like help that student or guide them, but you can't like tell them what they have to do. You can't tell them, oh, click this, grab this, like ask
Okay.
questions.
So that's a good point. So you could do it that way, or you could have them do that total navigation. So when I mean navigation is that a student will, maybe the group will read out the direction. Okay, well, your next step is you've got to go here and you've got to click on this. So to guide them through, and I've done this with my Java class too, where you have the students that will, okay, I'm really struggling with this idea and this concept and I can't get it. So you get them up there and you let them take charge, and they're sitting at the computer and they're doing the stuff, but the other students are giving direction. So it's both ways. So if you have a student that's experienced and they're just like rushing through everything, it's like, okay, I want you to come up here and I want you to kind of guide people through and show them what you're doing, but you got to talk about it each step that you're doing. Because if you don't talk about each step that you're doing, then the other students they're not going to be learning it. And so they're learning it even deeper, but then you can kind of do that role reversal and with the same way. But sometimes your students that aren't as experienced, they get really nervous doing it. So you have to be careful with how you do that too. So yeah. What about letting a student move ahead? What do you all feel about that?
They're gonna do it no matter whether I say, no matter what. And it's actually kind of a fun way to end the class, is like to have like a showcase time where some of the people that were struggling can just do the basic program. They don't have to add any frills. They can just kind of, they still are going to enjoy it, right? But then there's going to be some, like the super hackers that want to make more than one sprite, or they want to, make the sprite get bigger and bigger and then explode, right? They have that in their mind. They already have it in their mind, what they want to do. They have the levels for the game all mapped out in their heads. So I personally, I give them time at the end of class. I give everybody time at the end of class to either clarify, like if they're at the beginner level, to clarify what it is. Sometimes they're crying because they didn't get it done and everybody else got it done. So we got to mop that up, right? Because if they're sobbing, the teachers don't like it when I send them back crying, because, social emotional learning is key, right? Okay, so I either mop up and help the people that are struggling, and then I let some of the kids that like to amplify the learning, I let them do it. And if we have time, we share it, so that they kind of become maybe like a coach in the class. If they're capable of doing it with compassion, sometimes it doesn't work so well, like in middle school. But if they're capable of doing it with compassion, they can actually be like really good helpers.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you deal with middle school. Bless you. My hat's off to you. Yeah, middle school is not where I'm at, but yeah. All right. So there are different things that you would do with your students and taking it back to your classroom. There's also a way that you can go ahead and get them started and say, all right, go ahead and start. I have to go take care of this other thing for a minute. Read the instructions and get started. So there's so many different ways to get that. I need to give you all a break, and then we'll get into the robotics. Are we doing a 10-minute break, or do we want to do a 5-minute break?
Oops. Let's do 10 minutes to give people enough time to maybe get a cup of tea or a cup of coffee organized. So it's coming up 11:14. So if we come back at 11:24, hopefully that will work for everyone. So take a 10-minute break, folks. Get up, stretch your legs, etc. So we'll see you in 10 minutes time.